started where I had a lower back accident and fell on the base of my spine 5 consecutive times. And that then really shook my health. And this whole path, this journey brought me from darkness to light and from not wanting to wake up in the morning for the next day to completely transforming over time with these tools to wanting to live my best life and viewing life very, very differently. That was what kind of fueled this curiosity into I need a real true purpose or something else that is going to give me value of why I'm here. And it saved my life. And I wanted to be able to have impact on others to help them with all of the things that I dealt with. And I take it all as a blessing. So around 5 years ago, I launched my holistic health and wellness platform on tools that I personally used to get me back to myself with 5-element acupuncture, metabolic balance nutrition, and also other self-care tools as well that I implement under the Davina Lisa Method. So these are all game-changing supports along with the cellular health as well.
Hi, Davina.
Hi, Juan. Nice to be here.
Yeah, nice to have you here. Welcome to the show. And first off, can you introduce yourself, where you are from, and what do you do, where you are at right now?
I'm Davina, and I'm half English, half Finnish, raised in London. And where I am right now is in Bangkok, Thailand.
Hey, yeah. And what do you do?
Important to share. So around 5 years ago, I launched my holistic health and wellness platform on tools that I personally used to get me back to myself with 5-element acupuncture, metabolic balance nutrition, and also other self-care tools as well that I implement under the Davina Lisa Method. So these are all game-changing supports along with the cellular health as well. So yeah, that's a little slice of what I do.
Yeah, what you are offering is such a holistic support to people who are going through hormonal change or people who want to get in touch with their body on what is going on in case like we all experience imbalance in our body. And I love the approach that you use. It's all based on holistic. And I know that you also have passion around the scientific research, having like scientific backup on your method. So I really love that. And what inspired you to journey into this direction of becoming an holistic practitioner?
So it stems from when I was 18, started where I had a lower back accident and fell on the base of my spine 5 consecutive times. And that then really shook my health in a way where I was dependent on going to the hospital to get help for the pain, the sciatica. And I was going through a very, like a roller coaster journey to try to help quite chronic issues in the body. And I was living a very unhealthy, unbalanced life, working 100 hours a week in the hospitality field. It was my passion. And I put myself last and everything else first. So that then led me to leading to burnout several times. That I then was admitted into hospital and needed 2 blood transfusions. So this was the turning point for me that really I faced the mirror to really wake up and think, what is it I'm doing? So I then transitioned into looking for alternative methods as what I was using was a band-aid for the issue. And I, with time, came across different, I tried everything you can imagine. I'm a test bunny and I like to try and test to see what works and what might not. And this whole path, this journey brought me from darkness to light and from not wanting to wake up in the morning for the next day to completely transforming over time with these tools to wanting to live my best life and viewing life very, very differently. That was what kind of fueled this curiosity into I need a real true purpose or something else that is going to give me value of why I'm here. And it saved my life. And I wanted to be able to have impact on others to help them with all of the things that I dealt with. And I take it all as a blessing. It was a journey that it was important for me to go through so that I can understand what it's like to be in other people's shoes. And so I gradually just started to train in these tools while still in hospitality and then naturally transitioned. I decided I'm going to commit 100% around 5 years ago and launched the Davina Lisa Method. Hence, all the tools I used is a method that I present tools and approaches that I have personally tested and I know that work and treat at the root. This is the core, this is the main thing. It treats at the root, doesn't put the band-aid on the problem. So that was my inspiration behind what I do.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. And I was amazed because I haven't heard about the journey that you start since 18 years. You were 18, right? Yeah, that's a really long time of, in your words, being a test bunny on different holistic approach. And then you mentioned that you were working in hospitality before experiencing burnout, working 100 hours a week. And now you launch a Davina Lisa Method where you support people who go through health journey. So I'm curious on when you make that change from shifting from working in hospitality into, okay, deciding that I'm going to make my own thing work for me as a business. Like, what make you decide that you are ready to take that step?
It was like a lightning bolt for me. The initial message when I was the exact date, I cannot remember. It was, I think it was around 8 years ago to 6 to 8 years ago, where I was in the kitchen and I was alone and I just looked around and I said, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't
Mm,
want to do this. And this was a very strong instinct that literally it was like a switch had flicked that there has to be something else. Something has to change. And this is not my path anymore. So that was the first really strong message. And then having conversations with mentors and those that just I was able to have that safe space with them to talk about what's on my mind. And I wasn't going to settle for something that I was unhappy, stay in a job, a career that I just was not feeling satisfied with. It's not a life to live, you know? So it was through that period of time and then really the turning point was the acupuncture, the 5 elements specifically. My mentor and I were really doing this back and forth conversation. And she was really putting a mirror in front of me about what is it that I want with my life, asking the big questions, which I love. So she really pushed me to think and imagine where I want to be in the future, and which was a rare thing for me. I was living day by day and had a strong sense of how can I give back, you know, in even helping one person. If I can at least save someone's, whether it's life or, you know, where they're going through a self-destruct path, which was what I was. And I was an addict as well, and just did so many different things to try to destroy and tear down my life. So I thought this is something that I can work with, you know? So it just progressed from there and then just started to learn other techniques that I had used along the way. So that's where it came from. I originally started to learn 5-element acupuncture as the
Right.
first thing. Then I used metabolic balanced nutrition, which is also science-based through a nutritional scientist and through the German platform. Also life coaching as well through that was at master level, ICF recognized. And then started to immerse myself in qigong as well, breath work, and then just I was putting self-care as a priority and then was gaining those skills to improve my health and well-being to ensure that I can share what has worked for me and what I feel would help others. So I hope that answered your question.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like just the signal interruption. Yeah, and I get it now. Yeah. And I love how you have the support from your mentor and then she reflect back to you on what is it that you want in your life and you start to thinking further about how can you give back even to change only one life that worth making change, right? And I'm also curious, so what was your answer at the time? Like what is it that you want in your life?
I want to be able to, it might sound cliche, but I want to be able to leave this world a better place than when I
Mm,
arrived. Do it in a way that is holistic and science based. Yet, the key things for all of us humans, regardless of where we are from, is that we feel we are heard and that we matter. So, if you can hold that space for the individual, for the person that you're with, regardless if it's a friend, family member, community, someone that you're helping. My why is to improve the health and well-being of others in this world. That's my goal, however that may be. A
yeah,
conversation, a treatment,
yeah.
a smile or whatever it may be. You can really transform someone's day by just being there, whether it's listening or sharing a conversation or complimenting genuinely on what they're wearing or something they've said or so yes, that's me.
That's so beautiful. And just so you know, you already make a shift in my life from the relationship that we have, our relationship that has transformed, and how you help hold space to the process of our interaction from first sharing yourself honestly and also holding space for me to share my heart to you, to be honest with you, and you remain that maturity, emotional maturity, and being so kind, being so compassionately you. So I want to echo that your intention of starting this journey it changed my life in some way already. And that's really beautiful. And I'm so grateful to reflect back on our interaction, our conversation, our relationship that has transformed through different stages. And it's so beautiful to get to know you better in this show.
I really appreciate your words to share. It's very humbling and it takes two to do the dance, of our relationship of whatever level that is to hold the space for each other. So it's equally felt from my side as well. Thank you for sharing that. It's very sweet.
Yeah, yeah. And how do you find at the beginning when from leaving the job? Because I know from myself that when I decide that I'm gonna leave my job and start doing the coaching, practice the coaching, and actually making it a business, it was an interesting journey for me, and I want to hear from you. So, how do you feel in resetting yourself through that? Process and shift into new direction and what's coming up and how do you deal with it?
So it's a great question. So it takes time to transition from one to the other. This happened during the pandemic where I was able to to intertwine, merge the two. As you know, in the start, the food delivery was massive. That's where it boomed. And with companies I was consulting for, they needed new ideas to be created for this, and also for it to be adaptable, for not just to eat in the location, but to travel. And there was so much competition. It was a lot going on. So I was sucked into that. Yet I was also sucked into being requested for home visit treatments for specifically like NGO, UN individuals that were working 24/7 in front of their computer. Zoom just boomed. And so there's little bit of self-care that they could have, and it was just back to back on both sides. And so I didn't really have much time to think about it, in that the requests from both sides were coming. So I just went with it, and that fueled me to just do it. And of course, when you're doing something you're going from something you've known for 20 years to then something you're just starting that's in a very different league, it was crazy yet amazing. And each time that I would support an individual through treatment and see how they feel after the session, that stress just melted away. And it was just, they couldn't go out, and of course the protection was there, and the masks and what have you, just to share. It was a crazy time, and I was actually supposed to relocate to the Middle East for a corporate job. And at that time, I thought that that was where my life was going to be. And if I had gone to the Middle East, I would not be doing what I'm doing. I would have still been in hospitality. So at the time, I thought, I'd lost everything. I'd have my partner in Dubai. So it was like everything aligned. So it was a lot of conflict there, trying to figure out. And then it just, with time, I transitioned to do more of the holistic side and less of the hospitality. And working for myself, you need to balance on the financial side as well. So you need to do what projects come. So I was shifting and changing, and it was a transitional period that allowed me to gracefully step in slowly. And then there was that moment where, okay, there's more of the holistic sides coming in, and basically the hospitality has become very quiet. So of course I was scared. I was uncertain. Of course, with all the what's going on in the world, you don't know what's happening, what's true, what's not. And with my mentor, she was ongoingly, giving me the encouragement. There were three my mentors, and they just gave me that confidence to move forward, and I could reach out to them if I needed. So having the support there from someone that can give you that wisdom and safe space to talk about how you feel as well is key in that transitional period.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing from you is that there is both the inner clarity around what you want to do in the future, what is aligned with your future, and then there is a certain external factor as well where you get to transition throughout the COVID period. I think like COVID has been a big shift for many people, and what I love is that you have the support from your mentor, and what you share is in the process around when the internal challenge come up, you have someone to talk through, you have someone to reflect on what you really feel. I think that's really important. And in that process, I know that you are really vouch for self-care. So what have you been practicing to hold yourself through that process? Because I'm sure it's not easy to go through both. Like I know for myself that when I leave the corporate job, the financial insecurity comes up big time, even though I have saving, even though externally I'm not lacking, but internally I feel like I'm lacking because I didn't get the paycheck every month. I'm the one who have to find and being proactive about getting client, getting income. So I want to hear from the self-care expert on how you supporting yourself through this process?
Yeah. I'm curious. That's one thing that's one of my strengths too. I'm like what you mentioned, the science part is really important for me. When you hear that there is support from the science side that this method is proven, that's what draws me in. So I have that kind of balance of both in that the holistic side, I feel the energy, I feel things. Yet for me to really connect, I need that kind of, like I said, the science to prove that it works. I have pre-COVID, pre-pandemic, I think I was maybe for now 7 years, I was focusing on morning routine. That was the first thing. It started with small steps of a power walk, and I couldn't afford a gym. So I used the corridor of my condo to do a 30-minute power walk, listening to podcasts or music that inspires me. Then just general research, I looked into the Wim Hof method, which is how we officially met. And loved what I heard. And I just wanted, I had so much fear of the cold, like serious fear, that I wanted to be able to face that, and was given the opportunity to train with Wim in the Netherlands for 2 days at his house in 2020. And I was just thrown in the deep end, and did my very first ice bath at his house without breathwork was 6 minutes. I don't know how I did it, but I was freaking out. There was 40 of us, and I was walking up and down, and I was like losing it. I was like, how am I going to do it? But I thought, this is paid for. I must try. I will do it. I was so scared, and I managed to do it. And that then ignited my passion and insight and curiosity to learn more about it and go into the breath. So when I came back to Thailand, there is a center here where we met that does the Wim Hof method. And so I continue with that and doing breath work in my day. Also doing just whether it's meditation, using the Headspace app, which is my favorite thing. It has like little cartoons, so I'm very visual. It makes it fun. I'm not someone that likes to sit cross-legged and hum and meditate. Drives me crazy. I need to be doing other things or find ways that guide me through it in a relatable way. And grounding was another thing. I found the science behind it, where you put your bare feet on the ground connected to earth. And there is science behind how it calms your nervous system, the inflammation, and just the immense amount that it can do for the body and calm. And the power walk kept coming, and I did that every day and still do. But also I introduced, as now I realized that strength is more important than cardio. And going through the perimenopausal stage of my life, it's been a year now. So being faced with all these different kind of symptoms that you typically get, and doing my research, strength training is the thing that all women need to take on, not in their 50s, but they should start very early to create strong bones, because they weaken as we age because of the reduction of estrogen. So strength training and Pilates rehabilitation, because of my body's been through all kind of different situations. I did Muay Thai in COVID, 30 classes, and then my sciatica came back. So I took that as a message to stop that, and then look at how I can rehabilitate my body through with an expert of Pilates and physio. So I am making sure I have a strong morning routine, and then I
Mm.
introduce methods or practitioners, instructors to help me gain that strength and well-being in my body for what works for me.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. And thank you for also sharing your health journey as you are going through perimenopause and feel that shift. And I'm wondering, as a woman, we have different hormone rhythm than the man. And as you are going through this journey of perimenopause, How does that impact your day-to-day as a business owner?
So, with this transition of hormonal shift, things will change in your body. So, you will wake up feeling different each day.
Mm,
Some days will be just normal. Let's say there's nothing really noticeable. And other days you will wake up feeling, for me, it was exhaustion, chronic pain in my body when I woke up, and lack of sleep because I had night sweats. I felt my body was on fire, and emotional turmoil, brain fog. It was so just sharing those to give a clearer picture. How do you navigate that when you don't really know
mm,
what's going on and why? So I thought I was going stir crazy because I was quite strong in putting my health first, yet my body was changing. So there were days that I would stare in front of the computer or be trying to do something, and I kind of went on this freeze mode where I couldn't even make a decision or couldn't remember something or just was in a daze. And just with the low energy, of course, you just want to take a big nap. So, so it it was, I needed to really find out and understand what is going on so that then I can support myself better. And then with the research that I did, I started to understand other women are feeling the same and having other experiences. So with that, then I found ways to help myself to support my energy levels and that shift so that I can empower myself instead of it dragging me down. So it was trial and error, and every woman is going to be different, and what works for you may not work for another woman. So you just try and test. So
mm.
it was kind of like a rehabilitation project, and I found the right people and tried different things that didn't work and others that completely, it was like a switch had flicked and I felt 20 again.
Mm.
So I now have that part in control. And it was all through my own research and having honest conversations and speaking loud and proud about this is what I'm going through. And I need to work with this. So it was a challenge that I faced, and and sit with it. It's also important to sit with how you're feeling, not just to force it and try to fight it that it's not happening. So okay, I feel this way, and if you want to feel like, if you feel, let's say, down, sad, tired, then maybe it's time for you to take a pause and take some rest, and then gradually just do some research, speak to people, speak to yourself, give yourself what you feel your body needs, and it will come to you. And of course, you know, I share my journey on my platforms, which I'm happy to share later for those that maybe want to have some insight if they have questions. So
Yeah, thank you. That would be lovely because I'm sure women who are going through this journey of hormonal shift, it's still under research in many areas of how we're going through it. It's still under discussed in public as well. And what I'm hearing from you is that the part that helped you, you have been experimenting with different things. I love your wisdom around not everybody gonna be not there is no one perfect solution for everyone. So it's a personalized solution that it's also about understanding yourself, having a person who understand the journey is a big help. And for you, it's also about embracing the process on, yeah, this is happening. I'm not fighting it. I know this is real for me. It's also honoring the process of change, and it's really beautiful to hear you share around this.
thank you.
Yeah.
Keeping an open mind and not being defeated, even though it does feel that way. It can be very lonely. And, the statistics are that 25% of women will feel nothing. They'll just go through menopause, perimenopause with no symptoms. 25% will be really severe, so chronic, and
Mm,
this will I have to say I was not that part of that 25%. So that is something that is important to navigate with the right medical support. And the 50%, which I was in, gets the mild to a little bit more symptoms. So it's yeah, benefit. I'd say what I had an open mind to trying different things, and also I'm still am, because I'm still going through it, and maybe tomorrow I will wake up and feel something else. So this is one thing: be open to what's out there, but also be smart and don't take what you're told as the only option. It must feel right for you. This is key. Never be forced to do something, or because it works for somebody else, or because maybe someone that is in a white jacket is telling you this is the way it is. It's important that you sit with it, and is it right for you? Do your research.
Yeah. So then I'm really curious, as you are supporting clients who have different bodies,
Mm.
different internal chemistry that is going on, how do you pair a client with different tools that you have? Like how do you know that this tool is a match for this client? How do you create that personalized program to the client?
It all starts with a conversation,
Mm.
and what their specific goal or goals are, and what realistically is possible for them with regards to time commitment, and are they able to physically come to me? Is it going to be online? And then once I know what their pain points are, that is a very big key indicator of what they need. And then there'll be maybe option A, B, and C. So
Mm.
every every individual, every client is individual, and understanding their full body system analysis, their basic medical history, and how they live their life, how they approach life, will give me quite a lot of answers to what I can suggest, plus their mindset,
Mm.
and how they hold themselves, and it's you're adapting to it's a strong instinct for me. I will know once all of that conversation happens to then suggest.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's all about first getting understanding client lifestyle, medical history, as well as create that connection. And I also believe in intuition and instinct. I believe that the space with connection with the client is the guidance that can guide client to different tools that you have. So I think that's your gift on being in tune with the client and being able to pick and choose the personalized program that is going to be a match for what they need at that moment. So, okay, we are about to end our show, and I would love to hear some words of wisdom from you. If you were to look back to your previous self, as in the previous journey, as you are experimenting different tools and methods for your health journey, if you were to able to go back and talk to your younger self and give some wisdom to your younger self, what would that be?
My goal is to not change anything. It's important that
Mm-hmm.
she needs to walk the same path. I would say my key thing would be trust the journey.
Mm,
Trust the journey. Life is happening for you, even though it may not feel that way. And the piece of key advice, I would say, save. Keep save a nest egg of finances. This can be one of the biggest stresses so that then you can decrease your stress levels, which has been the main part of the heightened stress for years, working for yourself and not having that ongoing income and unsure when the next one will come. So that would be my biggest piece of advice: is save a minimum of 15-20% every month and don't touch it, so that you can have peace of mind. So those would be the kind of what I would share with my younger self.
Yeah, thank you. Trust the process. Everything is happening for you. It's a journey, and I'm glad that you bring that piece up around having financial discipline. I know for myself that it's a big part of my family history as well around having financial stress that's going on in my family background. So I'm pretty sensitive around finances. So before I leave the corporate, I also have to look at my finance over and over again because I know that's going to drive the decision in the future of how I'm going to run the business. And I think a lot of times we didn't want to talk about that. And I'm glad you are bringing this up that having a backup plan around finances is really important because a lot of time we feel like this is the part that we don't want to share to other people. Thank you for sharing your words of wisdom.
My pleasure. Thank you for the questions.
Yeah. And so if people want to connect with you, how can they reach out to you? How can they find you?
So I have several platforms. I've got Instagram, the Davina Lisa Method, or one word, and Lisa is with two I's because it's the Finnish way of spelling it. And then I've got the website, the Davina Lisa Method, and also my Facebook is the same, and TikTok is the same as well. So yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. And can you share the exciting things that is coming up as your project? Any things you want to share? I know that you you have tips that people can go and get from your website. Is it website? Yeah, maybe you can share around what are the tips or things that people can go and, geek out with you.
So I'm have daily tips on my Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, just sharing self-care tips and about lifestyle of things that can give you great support for your health and well-being. And also with regards to projects, I have a hormonal reset program that's going to be launching soon, and that will support women that are going through that hormonal shift. And I will be there to fully support on the emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual level if needed to guide them through. And that is online. So that will be like a 3-month program, and I will have also surprises added to that. So also I am focusing on burnout as well, which is there's a program available coming soon that it's something I've gone through personally, and I can offer my wisdom of and hold that space for those that are going through that too. So they're not alone. And this is an online support as well. So those are the projects that are launching. And also I have my physical space here in Bangkok that you are welcome to come by. And my website shares all the options of tools and services that I offer as well. So it's a lot of information there, but that's just to give you an insight. And yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So many things are going to launch soon. So there are online programs on hormonal reset. If people are going through burnout, you also have burnout support program, and you have your physical space in Bangkok. And it's beautiful. It's by the river. So for an audience who listening to this, don't forget to check out the Davina Lisa method with the two I on the Lisa. And thank you, Davina, for spending your time with me today, for sharing your journey, for making a woman feeling less alone in the process of their physical change and hormonal change. Thank you for this.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to have this conversation, and you made me feel just at ease, and you held the space, you listened beautifully. So thank you. Thank you for
Thank
inviting me here.
you. Bye bye, Davina. Take care. I would love to connect with you. And it would also mean a lot to me if you could share it with a friend or leave a review on the episode. A little bit about me. I'm a trauma informed life coach with 16 years of experience in the corporate world and 8 years as a coach. I have been helping business owners and executives tap into real confidence and make clearer decisions. And if you are in the season of change and want a personal light touch, feel free to reach out about my one-on-one coaching program. I'm always happy to connect with you. And come back for a new episode next week. And until then, keep being kind to yourself.